Rhyming, people say it is out of fashion, and most of the literary journals won't accept poems that rhyme. But I believe it's completely up to the poet and the taste of the audience. Uh, I think rhyming it sounds very nice. I think if you're doing it right, if it's not too cliche or cringy, it can be like poetry is about rhyming, and all the songs do rhyme. For some reason, the literary journals have fallen out of rhyming, and they will not accept it. That's why you won't see most poetry, modern poetry with rhyming. But I believe if you're writing for the audience that is there online, they will appreciate rhyming if it's done nicely.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very good question, Puneeth. I had the same question. Again, not being in any way remotely a poet, I've always wondered, like, rhyming used to be part of how, like, I think Himanshu mentioned, even songs and everything have it. And it lends itself nicely. So if it just falls out of favor, I don't know if it's, I think people should write poetry because they want to, not to get into any kind of a journal or something like that, I think. But good question.
Yeah, I mean, basically all the poems I have written, they all rhyme. So sometimes it happens, if it's a 4-line poem, the three lines is so perfect, it's rhyming. I mean, the fourth line would be the punching line, I would call it. And that's perfectly rhyming. Probably the second line, I'm still struggling to find the rhyme word, you know, I'm not, and that doesn't making sense. And it's rhyming, sometimes it's a struggle, but if you can find right words, I think rhyming makes poem more beautiful, right?
I believe in case anyone else has feedback, otherwise we can move on to the next point.
Yes, we can shall move on to the next. Mehtab Khanum. Yeah. I doubt if
she was here in the previous call.
She's on. She's on.
Yeah, she's here. Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
Mehtab, maybe you can turn on video if you like.
Okay, 1 minute. Can you see me? I can't see myself.
Yes, we can see you. Welcome on board.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm not a good reciter. I have poor skills. So I hope I do justice to my own poem. Okay,
Go ahead.
I start now.
Yeah.
Yeah, please. That's a limiting belief you're carrying, my dear friend.
Okay.
Go ahead. So, that's for somebody. Yeah.
Why has it become a habit to look into your eyes and see you smile? What do I seek? What do I want? I insist the plain truth in text without you messing with my head. I gravitate towards you helplessly again and again, knowing what pain it'll be. I will bear with all glee. Till my wish from the fallen stars come true, I'll look for you in every sky till the heavens bloom. Yeah, that's it.
Very good.
Okay. Yeah, please carry on.
No, this very good. I mean, I was just wondering, what was the visual it evokes is amazing, right? But what was your, I guess, more motivation, let's say? I'm always curious as to what inspires the person to come up with something creative like this.
Well, it's just my feelings towards a particular person, that's all. And how I will still persuade that person no matter what.
Got it.
Right. So I have already seen Mehtab's poetry.
Yeah, we got to collaborate, right? I'm a big fan of yours. How you doing?
Thank you. So Mehtab, we have published a collection called IRL, and Mehtab is one of the poets in that collection, and a wonderful poem she has written. So I'm already aware of her work. And again, this is a wonderful poem. It beautifully conveys, the imagery is beautiful. One advice I would give you is to experiment and go beyond, experiment and dare to do different things. This is a safe poem. It is I think you can, if you try to experiment, you can do wonders because you have the talent, you have the writing ability, imagery. So just write about different ideas, go crazy, and you'll definitely come up with amazing poems more like these.
Thanks a lot. It means a lot. Hi, Mehtab.
Hi, Mehta. So, firstly, I really like this line. Insist the plain truth in text. Like, I don't know why, but I really, really like this line. But yes, as Himanshu said, that the poem is really beautiful. But there are some things like till my wish from the fallen stars come true, or till the heavens bloom. They are kind of like a little cliche. They have gone a little cliche. They have been used very repeatedly these days. So yeah, as I said, you can go for some experimentation, try to come up with something more creative. And again, since you have written this for a crush, if I'm not wrong,
Yeah.
yeah, I can see that. So yeah, the voice is very doubtful that if there is something reverse feeling or not from the other person's side. But yeah, it's really good.
Thanks a lot for your feedback.
And what's the plan for you, Mehtab? Are you gonna continue to write more of this? Are you gonna build a collection, or are you gonna have these kind of poems go out into the ether through Instagram or stuff like that? Or are you thinking of a collection, I guess?
Well, I write when I feel like the feeling is at the peak. So it's mostly about love poems and it's one-sidedness. I occasionally I post on my Instagram page, but when I get opportunities, I I tend to grab them. Like how I got to know about Himanshu sir's IRL collection, and then so I'm hoping to look for more than that. About the official collection, I don't know yet. I need to improve more. That's what I think.
No, but this is good. I mean, maybe Sakshi had an idea for this group, right? As we go forward, when you compile all this and record it, we could, the authors can probably even prioritize them, grade them whichever way, right? And then you could post it as a collection every month, right? And who knows where, like if Himanshu already has a platform, this could become a feeder into his IRL platform, right? This could like an aggregation of 100 of such poems from different authors, including Mehtab or Mehek and so on. We bubble that up and then you have it in that order. And Himanshu has a platform already. So something, I'm always looking for, can this become a forum which can continue to evolve? I see Tanmay already agreeing because he might even have access to some other authors and stuff like that. The more platforms we can provide. And this could be like, if Mehtab has, for example, I'm not going to trivialize it. If it's only one poem she's written, that's fine. It could be so phenomenal that it might still be at the top 10, for example. She doesn't have to have a book to get visibility. It could be a collection in which she can see her name and she can quote it, and it might be the IRL platform. Something to think about, right? So
definitely. Thanks a lot. Oh, my
I
poem.
think Himanshu has, yes, he has shared a poem, Mehta's poem, in the chat, and I must say this one is really, really good. Like, sorry to say, but better than the one you shared with us.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. How did you get it so fast? You copy pasted it so fast.
So I have the file. I just had to search your names.
Thanks a lot for that.
And
also.
Himanshu is on the computer, Mehtab, in case you're wondering. We all are on the computer. If you see a bigger screen, I'm assuming you're on phone. So that's the difference also.
Anyway, thanks a lot for the feedback, all of you.
Thank you, Mehta. So let us move on to the next. Pooja Kedia. Do we have her? Yeah. Hi, she is here. Hi, Pooja.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Pooja.
Yeah, so I guess without further ado, you should start reciting your poetry.
And please do turn on your video if you can.
Yeah, please.
This is the rules of engagement that we are having today, right?
Absolutely, and nobody has to
I
feel
think,
shy.
Pooja, you're mute.
Yeah.
Probably should unmute
Irrespective of where you are.
Yeah. Shall I
Poet
start?
Pooja.
We all took a special goal, no matter how much we get trolled. What if they can't see your potential? To be succeed, self-esteem is essential. There is only one answer to all the bullshit. If we can dream it, we can do it. Giving up is not a sign of winner. It won't give you peace, but will kill you inner. Never get upset if you are behind them. What if in front of them you are only dumb? Remember, you have dreamed not to compete, but to achieve your own highest peak. On this path, rainstorm will hell you. You will pass through the obstacles too. Many times you will come as a cropper, but these all will surely make you a topper.
Very inspiring. And I think maybe Himanshu can probably comment on it more, but uh, I find this unique in the sense that, I mean, it's probably, again, maybe you're inspired, but it really made the hair at the back of my neck stand out, right? So that's how I kind of measure, did it touch me or not? That's a simplistic way. So you took it's an inspirational quote actually, but it's a poem. And to accomplish that in such a long format, to me, it's mind-boggling. So thank you, Pooja.
Thank you so much.
Right. So again, I think it comes from a very personal space, and it is one of the most difficult things to write about is about yourself. So, and kudos to you that you've put your thoughts. I believe it comes from a personal space that this is about you, and some of the most popular poets and their most popular works are about their personal struggles and their accomplishments, how they overcame those struggles. So I think you should keep on writing more about your journey, and I'm sure others can relate and get inspired by it.
And I truly think, I think this is one of those things I can imagine. I know the greeting cards are going out of fashion now, but this could really be on a greeting card as an inspirational quote, right? So I agree with Himanshu. I think if you can write this genre of things, like author Devika, right? She was there. She has something about self-improvement. She might use this in the front or the epilogue, prologue of the book, saying, and that could become a platform for you to extend your reach beyond your own personal audience, right? So I think this forum can help you that way. You don't have to like have your own book collection. That's what I'm trying to method, but you can also have other authors who can say, hey, I'll borrow it. That way you can also say, my poem is in that self-improvement book, as example. So just thoughts to think about, but I love it. I echo Himanshu's comments.
Hey Pooja.
Hello.
Well, as someone said in the, Arushi said in chat, that I love that this is about self-improvement and not love by a girl, and I really appreciate it. Like, it is like girls don't always talk about love, but yes, it is somewhat like, yeah, girls do talk a lot about love. So I really like that you wrote something on motivation and self-improvement. I really like this line, this metaphor to be specific. On this path, rainstorm will help you. Like in the entire poem, this line was really very poetic, and I don't know, spoke more about the poem. But I suggest you take care of the grammar. Like in the first paragraph, fourth line, there is to be succeed, self-esteem. Like it sounds a weird. Like I know in the poetry don't generally see grammar that much, but I think this sound off in the track of your poem.
Okay,
And I
thank
believe
you.
Tanmay can say a lot because he is like very much into self-improvement books, and he is a bestseller in that field and such theme. Like this
That's
poem
true.
is a self-improvement. I think Tanmay can give better highlights to the points here.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Sakshi.
absolutely. So I think, so again, as I said, poet writing a poem is an art, and as Puneeth said in the beginning, that you need to be smart enough to use as little words to share as big as idea. So I think you've done a wonderful job, and I don't know, maybe uh, is it right, Himanshu and Puneeth, to use you and not YOU and YOU? I mean, is it considered okay, or I'm being too purist here?
I
Right.
mean,
What do you say?
So it depends what your purpose is. Are you publishing it on Instagram? Are you submitting it to a journal? Are you submitting it to a publisher? So there are no rules on Instagram. You can write however you want. And there are audience that will appreciate YOU, and there are audiences that will appreciate you. So it depends on where you want to get it published.
I mean, I would, for me, I would say I think it's fine, but I'm pretty old school, so I would expect why were you?
Same here.
But
I am also old school. I would
no,
say.
but still,
I would.
it saves you a lot of space, and especially when writing poetry, to make it look more. It also the way it looks. Also, it adds on to the poetry. So if the line is going too big, or if you want to, sometimes if you want to be more casual, talking to an audience who are more casual, then probably the tone of, I think this is a serious poem which talks about
Yeah.
self-esteem. So probably why you would have been better. But if you're talking something which is very casual and you're
Okay.
making remarks on something, then I think you would also be fine.
Yeah. Yes, because self-esteem is such a deep concept. I mean, we can go on discussing this for hours and hours, and so I think Pooja, full marks. I mean, you've captured it beautifully, and I think all of us are learner here, and as we practice, we learn, we grow. So I think good job.
Thank you for your valuable feedback. It really helped me a lot.
Thank you so much, Pooja. Now we shall continue to the next one. Mall tree. Do we have a Leo?
Yeah, I just checked. We don't have her.
Okay, so let us move on to the next. Shilpa.
Shilpa is not around either.
Aryan said, I doubt if he's even no, he's not here. Richa
Richa is
Jain.
here.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Richa, we can't hear you for some reason.
Hi guys, can you see me? Hear me?
Yep, we can see
Yep.
you and hear you. Yep.
Yeah, okay. So my poem is really very small. Don't hold yourself for someone who isn't holding on you. You did good, doing good, and you will always do. That's it.
Good.
I feel like, as you said, the poem is short, but I don't feel like there is any point of stretching it out. Like the essence of poetry is to say lot of things in a small words, and I think you like succeed in that with flying colors. So I really
Thank
don't see
you.
a point in stretching this out. These two lines are enough. Like they speak for themselves, and they speak clearly the message you want to give in that. So I really like it the way it is.
Thank you, Sakshi.
This is a complete debate for me, Richa. Okay, I mean, I'll tell you what. I mean, I think there is value to like a 10-second short film, right? I'm gonna go on an analogy. It's easier to talk about, right? It can tell me a lot, and it will satisfy me in some ways, right? But sometimes I want my video or whatever I'm reading to linger and go on for a little bit more, because it's the just our minds, the way they work. Like even a person that we care about more versus not is how much time we spent with them. It may seem simplistic, but that's how it is, right? So for me personally, again, not being a poet, I read this, it's good, it has an impact, but it hasn't made me dwell on it too long. It might stay on with me, okay? And that way it might grow, right? But it just feels like, again, I'm not putting the onus on you, sorry. This is completely open debate, okay? I've read a single liner, like a inspirational quote under a nice visual that has stuck with me for very long, for example. So there is nothing odd about it, but just when we think about poetry, I want to get others' input as well, right? This is pure, I think as it is, it looks great, okay? I have no debate there, but would like to know how others feel about something you read and then it's done, you're almost asking for more. I would have wanted to see more thoughts around this, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's just me.
Yeah. Actually, this is my very first time for being such kind of platform. And when I was filling the form, it was clearly mentioned that not more than 100 words. So I just opened up my diary, and I was looking for the short poem which as good as possible. So there are few more poems which are long, even in Hindi and English, both the languages. So maybe next time.
Well, Richa, it was just a suggestion
Thank you,
because
Richa.
you can see. Yeah, Himanshu, please carry on. Please carry on.
So thank you, Richa, for sharing. So, like I write a lot of short poetry and I share it, and I write long poetry also. And my short poetry is much more popular than my long poetry. So
Yeah.
I think this, if I had to sell a poem, this will be the easiest poem to sell to today's audiences. And speaking about this particular poem, rather than the debate about short and long poetry, I think the flow is nice. The ending is really good. The will always do part. It leaves a very satisfying message. And I would give you the same advice I gave to Mehtab. Think of different ideas, explore different ideas. This is a very safe idea. Everyone knows it's out there. I would advise go beyond and tell ideas in a very personal way, and people will love it. People will love this one too, and I think you can take it a level above when you explore more ideas and explore it more personally.
Yeah, sure. Thank
Yeah, I
you
would
so
like to
much.
add on to what Himanshu said. I think every poem will have its own introduction part, and then there's going to be a question asked, and there's going to be an answer answered, or sometimes you don't answer the answer in your poem, but you raise a question in your poem and let the reader come up with answers. So this is how a poet can play with poems. So I think considering the length of it, which I would not want to comment, because poems like this short, if it's impactful enough, I think it's fine enough. I think but the one, as he said, the ending is really good. It's gonna say something so satisfying. It's once you read it, if I am in that position where I'm feeling a similar feeling, the moment I read it, I will connect to it, and that's what poetry is all about. You should connect to people. So I think that's pretty well done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Richa. I think we should move on to the next one. Nizali Farid.
I believe she's not here.
Yeah. No, I think no. It's Kanika Shah. Like, I'm sorry if I got the name wrong. Actually, it was written E Kanika only. So that's right, I guess.
It's Ikanika.
Oh, sorry. Thanks. Sorry.
It's all right. So I'm a 16-year-old girl. I live in Bhopal, and I would be really grateful if you leave a critic review. I would appreciate it. So here I begin. She is a living art, too real to be called fiction, too fictitious to be called real. Her dreams are shades of red inside her body, like blood sandwiched between flesh. She talks to the polka-dotted curtains that hang in the lobby, like forgotten art in a room decorated with false ceilings. She smells of flowers. Her soul, a basket full of baked scars, forgotten amid a sky dotted with scraps of papers that knit fibers of theories. She carries her stories, while they carry legends of inventions and discoveries. She is the boiling milk taken off the stove and mixed with cinnamon to lose its color forever.
Quite philosophical, I must say.
So I would like to again say Ikanika is also part of IRL, and once again I think this is wonderful poem, and her poem in IRL is also amazing. So like I won't criticize it; it's already pretty good. There is a very beautiful flow to the poem. My criticism would be in how you delivered it. I think this poem, I think you can work on your delivery. This poem deserves really good. Just speak a few lines. Like I'll start with her dreams. her dreams are shades of red inside a body, like blood sandwiched between flesh. So you should put emphasis on, you know, you have written such beautiful lines and it flows so nicely. So I think you can improve on your delivery, but the poem is beautiful.
Thank you.
Adding on, I would say I was about to say the same thing. Like I was asking you to reread it again because it was very quick when you read it. But there's beautiful lines, especially those lines. Her dreams are the shades of red inside her body. Her blood sandwiched between flesh. I think that's very. It's very strong on one hand, and the way you comparing two different things, it's very beautiful. And that's very nice. And I'm mesmerized. Thank you for the poem.
Thank you.
And
Hi,
what struck
Kanika.
me, sorry, maybe 30
Yeah,
seconds, right?
please
What
carry on,
struck me
carry on.
about this was, I mean, generally you see either emotions or there are certain set genre of things that poetry might touch upon, right? This, you're just talking about a girl, just about her being her. And I think that's tough. And this expresses her perspective in life and her thinking and so on, juxtaposing that to what's around her, so to say. It's a very abstract concept, but you made it very tangible, at least to me. Right? Without saying what her personality is, I can guess what her personality is. It's I think it's very tough, and you accomplished it.
Thank you.
Hello, Kanika. First of all, sorry
Hi.
to pronounce it wrong. And I would say I like the way you have focused on these minute details just all around the poetry. Like she talks the polka dotted curtains that hang in the lobby. Like you could have stopped at polka dotted curtains, but the point that you specified that is like decorating the false ceiling that gives more charm to the poetry. Like it makes me too much into the scene, which I really admire. Then उसके बाद भी like the steps of paper that knit fibers of tears. So these metaphors and these comparisons, these details that I really admire. These things really bring your poetry. I don't know how to say, shine your poetry. Like in the last line, she's a boiling milk taken off the stove and mixed with cinnamon to lose its color forever. Like that way, taken off the stove and mixed with cinnamon. This line, it's really. I really don't have the words to say. So I really like the way you have. I really like the way you have portrayed, bringing on all the details, all the shallow details that one might not think of into the post. So well done, great job in the post.
Thank you so much.
I think we should carry on. Thank you so much, Kanika. Rishika Singhani.
I think Rishika is here. Hey, Rishika.
Hello everyone. It's not a poetry. May I please read something else if you all allow?
Absolutely.
Can I share that here in the chat box?
I believe so. Maybe you can try sharing, or Sakshi might have to
Yeah,
allow you to do that.
I can try the chat. Yeah, you can share in the chat box. And I'll try if I can get that on the screen.
I shared it.
Yeah, please, would you like to narrate as well? It would be better.
Yes.
Please go on.
The title reads The Consent. Dressed in the ethnicity of being a woman, she entered his life as his wife. He who used to drink all the night applied on her pressure for his pleasure. And she just couldn't fight because they said, he's her husband, he has the right. Oh, what kind of right is this? Why is her consent not necessary? Isn't it the vow they both took? Or what he took was just imaginary? Just like you, she has got a life. She too craves for a healthy living. She can make you feel eternal only if you try to become a human being. That's it.
Great poem, Rishika. But just one thing, like the topic you have chosen is quite, I don't know how to say it, common, to be straight ahead. So I suggest you creative on it here because the lines and the way you have spoken the entire incident is quite, it has gone quite common. The topic itself is quite common. So if you, so I suggest that if you approach the common topics, approach, you try to approach it differently or with more creative lines. So I really see the scope of creativity here, but the poem is also really nice.
Thank
So,
you.
guys, I have to go in 2-3 minutes. So I'll quickly share my thoughts on this. So, I think the story here is beautiful. I believe it's about a married woman not having consent in her life. That's what
Yes,
I
sir.
gather from it. And the story is really nice. The imagery is nice. The flow is nice, although it can be a bit better. Sometimes the flow of the reader is breaking. So just a little bit more work, and this can be a good, even better poem. And my advice would for you would be to continue writing. I think it's a very difficult topic, but it is a topic that needs to be written about, and keep writing about this. And with this, I'll also say goodbye. So thank you, Sakshi, for organizing this, and thank you for all the authors and writers being here. I really enjoyed it, and so sorry I have to leave early, but it was a wonderful time.
No worries, Himanshu. I
Thank you so
mean,
much,
I,
Himanshu.
just 2 cents on this one, right? Although I think I might differ a little bit, I see Sakshi's point as well. Maybe from a women's perspective, this is a very common topic, but I don't see it that much, at least in poetry form, out there, right? So, and maybe this is not even that big of a talked about topic even on the international level, right? So I actually genuinely think the topic itself is worth it, and the way you captured it, uh, I certainly like it, right? And I think I agree with, there are a few things, like, I mean, I am no poet at all, but I can say only if you try to become a human being, you could probably shorten it. Again, I don't know if it'll break the flow. You could have just said, only if you try to become a human. That just, again, by no means I know any better, but I think you already have most of the ingredients. But I personally like the topic, and I found that it is deep, but also in this short few words, you cover major aspects of it. So it can open up, like somebody who has written a book on, again, I'm always thinking, how can this be juxtaposed? Either you write your own books, or you could pair up with somebody who is writing about domestic abuse or things like that. And they would love to have, like when I was getting my book published, I would have loved to have one or two kind of poems that kind of signal the emotion that I want to have in a short form, right? So that's one way to pair this up. It can get a much wider audience.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rishika. Now I see only 4 minutes are left for the meeting to end, and I don't see the people. Oh, and with more people, जो like जो बच्चे हैं उन सबकी हो ही चुकी है mostly, I guess. Yeah.
So I guess we say goodbye to each
So I
other
think we
for
should.
now.
Yep, agree
Yeah.
with you,
Thank you.
Tanmay
I think we should.
and Sakshi, right? I think the best thing is to do is that we close it out properly. That way we have 4 minutes. Maybe the thing to think about, Sakshi and Puneeth and Tanmay, is that, right? What do we do from here? Like, there is an outcome. Maybe you want to talk about, I know you were recording, so that's good. So that'll go out. What do we do with these poems? We can probably compile it. I'm happy, like from my side, this is a compilation of, if somebody wants to like group them, Sakshi, you can take it over. In terms of rank order them, not that anything is better or worse, but in terms of how we collectively looked at it, right? And share it. I'm happy to share it on my Instagram and wherever, on Facebook and stuff like that. On a monthly basis, it could be a promotion platform for those authors. Something to think about.
Yeah, sure, we can do that. Yeah.
And I think
You
I
can do
also
that.
like the idea of having a name to these group and maybe a small logo or something. I think that kind of, from a
Yep.
branding perspective, I think that would be good.
Yep. Agree with you, Tanmay. Yep.
Yeah.
And I know
Actually,
a
I
lot
was
of,
trying to. Yes, yes, please go on, Tanmay.
I said, I mean, I know a lot of publishers who would be like willing to, publish a couple of their books. So maybe we can, maybe we can promote this, saying that, whomsoever shares a great work would get published or something like that. So maybe, that's something to look at from a future, making this much more, making it a bigger and an aspirational platform for people to come here and really talk and share their work.
Yep. Completely second that.
Yeah,
Yep.
sure.
Cool.
We can work on that.
Any last comments, Sakshi, before we close out? Puneeth?
I'm very much grateful to all of you to join. Like it was a greater success than I thought to be very honest. And yeah, thank you all very much for giving your honest reviews to
Full
all.
marks full marks to you, Sakshi, for your energy. I think keep it rolling
Thank you so much.
and get as many people as in the group. And I'm sure with such positive intent, we can really reach much bigger heights. And with no any such commercial, any favor here, I think this can be a great community service that we can provide to people.
Yeah, I mean,
By the way,
it's
a
1 minute.
shout out to. Yeah, sorry. Please go
No,
on.
nothing. I was
Sorry.
just saying goodbyes because it's just 1 minute left, and just thank you,
Shout
Sakshi.
out,
Yeah,
please,
thank you,
Sakshi.
Tanmay, and also Uday. Thank you so much, and also all the other poets. Wonderful poems. It's very inspiring too. And you can get a shout out. You just have 1 minute left now.
Yeah. Before we wind up, I would like to thank you, Vatsal Darji, because I think he's the only one who didn't give his poem in for this, but he stayed till the end. I think he's still here. Yeah, thank you
Vatsal,
so much,
shout out
Vatsal
for you,
Darji.
Vatsal.
Yeah, seriously, like thank you so much for being a part of
Vatsal
this.
Darji, good guy.
Hey, Vatsal. I agree with that, right? Anybody who is participating even without submitting a poem is awesome. I mean,
Yeah,
I hope everybody
yeah,
does that. Cool.
that's really great.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay,
Thank
guys, bye
You,
bye.
everybody.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Have a
Bye
nice weekend.
bye.
valuable
Thanks. Bye.
feedbacks.
Bye bye.